India remains one of the only countries in the world where mythology is still a big part of the day-to-day life of a major portion of its population. Good characters, evil characters, gods, demons, people with troubles, people with issues, people in strife, people with power, people with principles, people with morals make up the stories that form an integral part of growing up in India. This is the flavor India is known for. This is the color India is praised for. This is part of the vibrant heritage India is sought out for, and this here is one of the greatest examples of it all. Known as the Kumbh, it takes place every 12 years, but this edition is the Mahakumbh, and it is the largest religious gathering in the world. Millions of devotees from across the globe have made careful preparations to be here in Prayagraj in the state of Uttar Pradesh in India to attend Mahakumbh. Their motive? To seek blessings, to take a dip in Sangam for purification of their souls. Sangam, the holy confluence of the Ganges, the Yamuna and the mystical Saraswati river, is said to have powers that can cleanse sins and lead to salvation. And the origins of the Kumbh Mela itself is linked to Samudra Manthan, or the churning of the ocean. A task said to have been performed by an alliance formed between Devas and Asuras, and they did so to churn out the nectar of immortality. Legends say that during the churning, a pot or kumbh in Hindi of Amrit, elixir, appeared. And while Vishnu, in the guise of Mohini, was fleeing with the pot so that immortality doesn't land up in the hand of evil demons, 4 drops fell from heaven onto earth. And therefore, Kumbh is cyclically celebrated every 12 years in the places these drops fell in Allahabad, now known as Prayagraj, Haridwar, Ujjain and Nasik. This year's Kumbh is all the more special and revered since it coincides with a very special cosmic alignment that was last witnessed 144 years ago. And that explains the massive sea of people being observed every day. Estimates have put the number of visitors to easily cross 40 crores or 400 million across the 45-day spectacle. This clearly spells like a logistical challenge, but forward planning has helped. Attending devotees and pilgrims needed facilities like places to sleep and places to relieve themselves. So an entire temporary city was set up near Sangam and the riverbed that spanned close to 40 square kilometers. For context, this is roughly 7,500 football fields in size. From up above in the skies, one can also notice close to 150,000 tents that were set up as temporary accommodation for the pilgrims. Similarly, lakhs of temporary toilets have been set up, which are being maintained by over 15,000 sanitation workers. Temporary pathways and pontoon bridges have been constructed for the movement of this massive crowd, and yet the sheer scale and size of this monumental event does offer a challenge of mobility, especially for the elderly, for children and for those with physical disabilities. In the managed chaos of Mahakumbh, mobility and access to spiritual resources would have affected the holy experience of many had it not been for the novel ideas from the Adani Group. This mother and daughter duo are both natives of Prayagraj, but despite being ardent devotees, had no plans of visiting the Mahakumbh happening barely a couple of kilometers away because they're both visually impaired.
थोड़ा इनको आई साइट की प्रॉब्लम है, इनको भी
Their worries stemmed from their dependence on their son to walk around the Mela premises amongst the crowds, and yet their experience has been absolutely opposite to their fears. In its commitment to public welfare, Adani Group has introduced a fleet of electric golf carts to aid pilgrims in their physical journeys.
ये मेरी माँ है और ये मेरी सिस्टर हैं और ये आज ही आई हैं यहाँ पे। तो एक मेरे नोन पर्सन ने बताया कि ये जहाँ भी कार्ड मिले आप हाथ दे देना, तो रिगार्डलेस आप कौन हो कैसे हो रोक देंगे और जहाँ जाना होगा आप चले जाएंगे। और इनफैक्ट ये भी कहा कि अगर घूमना भी होगा तो बैठ जाना और कहीं भी जाके अपना घूम सकते हैं। इसी तरह से
इनकी सेवा से हम बहुत प्रसन्न हैं और हम लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छी सुविधा है। यहाँ आके बहुत खुश हुए।
Navigating the massive Kumbh Mela grounds can be exhausting for the able-bodied. Physical dependencies can only make it more difficult. These golf carts are run through the day, have a dedicated charging station, are operated by volunteers and are completely free for devotees, no questions asked.
सर अगर ये फ्री ना होती तो लोगों को बहुत समझ लो बहुत कठिनाइयों का सामना करना पड़ता। बाकी धूप भी बहुत तेज है और लोग यहाँ कम पैदल भी जा रहे हैं, कोई विकलांग है, कोई हैंडीकैप है, ये सब लोग को बहुत आने जाने में तकलीफ है। जो बुजुर्ग लोग हैं उनको भी बहुत तकलीफ होती है जाने में। हमको पर्सनली करने में बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है सर। बुजुर्गों की सेवा करना हमारा भी मान होता है और धर्म है।
ये गाड़ी जो आपकी है अडानी वाली बहुत सुविधाजनक है, बुजुर्गों के लिए बहुत बढ़िया है।
Being electric, they are an integral part of how the Kumbh Mela is keeping carbon emissions in control, and the service falls under the principles of seva bhav, a common theme observed by the Adani Group.
इलेक्ट्रिक गोल्फ कार है जो कि ना धुएं निकलती है, ना वातावरण को दूषित करती है और ना इसमें ना डीजल ना पेट्रोल। सिर्फ बैटरी चार्ज करो 5 घंटे में चार्ज हो जाती है और लगभग 130-120 किलोमीटर तक चलती है।
हमारे ग्रुप के 4 जन ऐसे चल नहीं पाते, उन लोग को भी लेके जाके छोड़ के आए। ज़्यादा चलना नहीं पड़ा, बहुत दूर दूर तक टेंट है, लेकिन आदानी वाले ने बहुत अच्छा किया है।
फ्री में भोजन सबको उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं, गाड़ी से नहलवा रहे हैं, घुमा रहे हैं, और क्या चाहिए हम लोगों को यहाँ पर और क्या चाहिए?
सारा लाभ तो वही ले रहे हैं।
मार्केट करने तो आए नहीं,
करने जो आए हैं
धर्म के लिए आए,
उनका सारा लाभ तो वही ले रहे हैं।
अब जैसे हम इस पर चले तो हमको सुख का अनुभूत हुई, इसका आशीर्वाद किसको प्राप्त होगा?
And while these carts have been helping with the physical journey of devotees, the Adani Group has ensured another offering to help with the spiritual journeys of visitors.
शरणं गुरुवे शरणं।
Being at the Mahakumbh and reaching the banks of Sangam, that is merely the physical aspect of this pilgrimage. However, it is the dip that helps start the spiritual journey. And to facilitate this spiritual journey, the highly revered Gita Press has partnered with the Adani Group to distribute 1 crore Aarti Sangrah books.
We are collaborated with the Gita Press. The book is Aarti Sankraka. There is 102 Aarti, different Aartis. Ram, Sita, Krishna, Radha, Ganesh, Hanuman, all those things. So these books will be useful to the Yatris. So we are giving it as a free of cost.
These books contain spiritual texts full of hymns and meditative verses that help the spiritual journey of devotees. These books were printed by Gita Press, and the mammoth task of distributing 1 crore of these has been undertaken by volunteers.
लोगों के अंदर प्रसन्नता की भावना आती है, अच्छाइयाँ जाती है उन लोगों के बीच में। अडानी जी के तरफ से अच्छी संदेश भी जाती है।
So these are the culture we are developing in our organization. We have seen, we have learned that seva is important for me because punya is the important item.
Under these vast skies, in a land full of ancient religious and cultural relevance, where the sacred waters of the Ganges, the Yamuna and the mystical Saraswati meet, Mahakumbh is the largest collection of some of the most unique stories. It is a unique phenomena where traditions that have stood the test of time come to meet profound devotion. And from the forefront of this epic convergence, the Adani Group has been weaving stories of selfless service and compassion. The mega kitchen that has been feeding close to 1 lakh devotees every day, free of charge, is nourishment and sustenance for many of the visitors here. In fact, it is above and beyond. It stands on the spirit of service. It is an embodiment of the ancient Indian principle that offering food is the highest form of charity.
So serving food is a great service, particularly a big congregation like that. All of us are one because people come from different sectors, different areas, different language, different culture. But ultimately, we have faith. Faith in Ganga and Yamuna and the Saraswati. Every day is a new experience. And I'm seeing a different world altogether which I have not seen before. The set of sadhus, the set of service, and the fantastic arrangement of the government. It is really, really good. And Kumbh is one place where there are no timings, there is no pujari, there is no pandit, there is no money. And it is like a totally democratic. Come anytime, take bath, eat, do whatever you want. There is no restriction. I feel the real democracy.
Each meal served is a silent prayer, and the golf carts on offer make navigating to the temples offering these prayers easy. It is as much a means of transport for the elderly as it is a tool of inclusivity for the differently abled. And this is the true spirit of unity of the Kumbh. And lastly, by the distribution of knowledge in the form of Aarti Sangrah books, the Adani Group is helping take the festival out of its physical boundaries.
उत्तर प्रदेश का प्रशासन एंड खास करके पुलिस कर्मचारी, सफाईगण जिस तरह से इतने करोड़ों की तादाद के अंदर लोग यहाँ आते हैं और जिस तरह से व्यवस्था रखी हुई है, ये मेरे हिसाब से मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट और कॉरपोरेट हाउस के लिए भी एक रियली संशोधन का विषय है। उत्तर प्रदेश में जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है। इतनी 25-27 करोड़ की आबादी है और डेवलपमेंट की जिस दिशा में उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार काम कर रही है उसमें अदानी ग्रुप का कंटिन्यूसली योगदान रहेगा।
When the sun starts dipping far in the horizon, painting the sky in hues of yellow and hues of orange, and devotees stand in the holy water offering their prayers, for those brief moments, Kumbh transcends time. The Kumbh Mela feels today how it must have felt when it was first organized in 1870. Heads bowed in reverence, hands folded in respect, and hearts beating in reverence. And by offering unconditional help, Adani Group helps tell the tale of the true spirit of Mahakumbh.